Hello guys, so today we are going to design a registration form using HTML. So the registration form is going to look like this. Here will be the first name, last name, and some courses will be there. Then we write using the input option, the gender and phone number and address, email, password, retype password, and submit. So we are going to design a web page something like this. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so first we are going to write the student registration form heading. So we can write it like this using the heading option, that is H1. I'm using the most big heading, that is student registration form, and it will look student registration form. Okay, and I'm going to set a alignment for this, that where it will be aligned so that it may look good in our web page. So I'm going to align it in center. Okay, so we have written student registration form. After that we are going to write the first name. Okay, so I have to end this student registration form. This h1 tag is the big, this h1 tag is starting the heading, and this h1 tag is ending the heading. So after that I'm going to write about first name. So here we are going to use the input tag of the HTML forms. So at first I'm going to tell you something about labels. So HTML labels are actually captions for a specified element. It is very convenient to use HTML label for the input elements. It increases the clickable areas. Clicking the label activates the input as well, and input element can also be nested inside the HTML label tag. You must include the closing tag for and label. So let me show you what is label. So we can write, okay, so I have to also specify a title over here. So let us write it as registration page. Okay, so I've written this title, and I'm going to write here label, and I'm going to end this label tag. Now after that I'm going to write first name. Okay, so first name I've written, and after that I'm going to break the line. Okay, so after writing student registration form, I have to, if you want, you can give a horizontal rule, that is like it is going to underline the student registration form and separate it from the other elements of our web page. So let me show you how it will look. So as you can see in the student registration form, and there is a line that actually, this line actually divides our student registration form heading from other elements of the page. So we can use for this our horizontal rule tag. So now what we will do, we have separated this, and after that I will break a line using br tag. So now we are going to use the input element, and there is an attribute of input known as type. So the type attribute actually tells us that what input is going to, what type of input is going to be taken by the web page. So I'm going to write here type text, as we are going to give here our name. So I'm going to write here type text, and I'm going to write here name is equals to, I'm going to give this a name so that it will be like easier for us to understand. So I'm going to write it first name. Okay, so after that I'm going to give a placeholder. So the placeholder attribute specifies a shorthand that describes the expected value of an input field. For example, a sample value or a short description of the expected format. So we can just write it like this: placeholder placeholder is equals to first name. Okay. So when I'm going to execute it, you will understand it well. So I've written first name, I've given a placeholder, I've given a name, I've given a type. So after this, I'm going to again break the line so that I get some space. So now I will just see what I have written, what is being shown in my web page. So I'm just going to see that now. So after running it, you can see that there is a student registration form, and you can see that there is first name, and this one is the placeholder. Okay, first name, we have written the placeholder. This one is the label. This is the heading. This is the horizontal rule. I'm giving input as text, Antilearn. Okay, and first name like this. Okay, so after that we are going to write about our last name. So quote, and I'm going to write here about my last name. So label this time will be last name. Okay, so last name this will be, and after that I'm just going to copy and paste it the same. So this time input type is also text, and placeholder will be last name, and name also will be last name, and type is text. So again I'm going to run this. So you can see that first name last. Okay, so I'm going to just break the line after label of the first name. So it doesn't look similar as this time for the first name, the line after writing first name I break the line, so that's why the input is taken after the line. So for last name I have to also break the line, so after that breaking the line I can see last name, just it's in a new line. So I'm going back to my page, and after that our first name have been written, our last name has been written. Now we will write about some courses. So we are going to learn about the select tag. So the select element is used to create a drop-down list. The select element is often used in a form to collect user input. Okay. The name attribute is needed to reference the form data after the form is submitted. If you omit the name attribute, no data from the drop-down list will be submitted. Okay. So name attribute is an important attribute of the select tag. So after that, the ID attribute is also needed to associate the drop-down list with a label. The option tags inside the select element define the available options in the tag in the drop-down list. Okay, so I'm going to show you, instead of saying on this definition, I'm going to show you what is select tag. Select, and I'm going to give it a name. Okay, so the name will be, let's say I'm going to give it the name course, and I'm also going to give the ID as course. Okay, so after that I'm going to end this, and here I will write option after the value. So what is the value? So value actually gives a value to your, in simple words, value actually gives a value to your drop down list. So let's say my first value will be, I'm going to write, let's say B math. Okay, so after that I'm going to write here also B math, and I'm going to end this. And similarly for the next line I'm going to write here, let's say B stat, B stat, and I'm going to write here, let's say B tech, B tech. Okay, before like executing this, I'm going to write another thing so that we can identify what is this. When used together with the label element, the for attribute specified which form element a label is bound to. When used together with the output element, the for attribute specifies the relationship between the result of the calculation and the elements used in the calculation. Okay, so I'm going to give for course, and I'm going to end this, and I'm going to write here course. Okay, and let's just execute it. And you can see here we have got our first name, we have got our last name, and we have got this drop down list. Okay, so this is our drop down list: bmath, bstat, btech. So we can also write any one of, we can also select any one of this. Okay, so after that I'm going back to my screen to write about gender. Okay, so this time we are going to take input as the gender. So let's say I'm going back to my page, and here I've written a font tag. I'm going to end this font tag. First I'm going to give a paragraph, and please write your gender. Okay, so after that I'm going to give input type radio. So this time it will take input as radio boxes. So after that I'm going to give a name. Okay, so at first I'm going to write here label for. So the for attribute, when used together with label element, the for attribute specifies which form element a label is bound to. When used together with output element, the for attribute specifies the relationship between the result of the calculations and the elements used in the calculation. Okay, so I'm going to write here. Okay, so you will understand it if we are not able to understand now. So I'm going to write here male for, and I'm going to give, at first I'm going to give a name, and this time I'm going to give an ID, that is male. So you just have to understand that the for and ID are connected. The ID element actually specifies that which label it is connected to. So I'm going to give the label here male. Okay, and similarly I'm going to copy and paste it because this is just similar. Okay, so after writing male I'm going to give female. ID will be this time female, and we are going to write here female, and this time for will be other, ID will be other, and this also will be other. Okay, so after writing other I'm just going to execute it now. So after execution you can see first name, last name, course, and please write your gender male, female, and other, because these are like very much congested. So I'm going to break the line using the PR tag, and after breaking the line, it is going to look like this: male, female, other. Okay.
Today up to this. In the next class, we will give some more components to our web page, and will also give like email, phone, etc. So if you like this video, please like, share, and comment on this video, and please subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon to get notified when I upload a new video. And you can follow me on Instagram. Thank you.